Alright, hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to repay your wrapped memo loan that you've taken out on Abracadabra. So in a previous video, I showed you how to take out a loan on Abracadabra in order to purchase more time and then stake more time and get a higher APY. So if you haven't watched that video, I'll leave a link to it below. Go back and watch that video first. But right now, I'm assuming that you've already taken out a loan against your wrapped memo and you have some magic internet money, and now you want to repay your loan back. So first thing, I just want to quickly mention how it works. So when you deposit your wrapped memo into Abracadabra, you're giving them a valuable asset, which is wrapped memo, and they're giving you some MIM. And so people were asking, when do I have to repay that loan? Well, technically never. If you're okay with losing the collateral or the wrapped memo that you've deposited into Abracadabra, you technically never have to repay it, but you are going to lose that collateral, and you're going to get a liquidation fee on top of that as well. So you want to repay it, but I mean, there's nothing stopping you from just keeping that MIM and never repaying your loan. So hopefully that answered some of your guys' questions about when I have to repay my loan. If it didn't, if you need more clarification, please leave a comment. I'll try to be more clear in an upcoming description of that. But so we come into the cauldron, and now we want to repay our loan. So we come up to this repay button right here, and we click that. And then all we have to do is, let's say in our previous strategy, we borrowed some MIM, we converted it to time, we staked it on Wonderland. We left it there for a few months, and then we made some money on that time that we staked. So now we've withdrawn some of that time. We went back to Trader Joe's and we converted that time back to MIM. So I'm assuming we just converted that time back to MIM. So now in our wallet, we have enough MIM to repay our loan. And we don't have to repay the whole thing at one time. We can repay portions of it over time, but I'm just going to repay the entire thing. So I have this MIM that I can repay. As you can see, I've deposited 80 cents in here worth of wrapped memo, and I've borrowed 0.2025 MIM. So now I want to repay this 2025 MIM and get my wrapped memo back. And then I come down here and I can click max, or I can just repay half of it if I want to, or a quarter of it, but I'm just going to do the max. So I click max right here, and then as you'll notice, it actually fills in this box for me. And this is saying I want to withdraw my collateral as well, but I don't like to do this. So see how there's two numbers? There's a number up here in the repay memo, and there's also a number down here in the remove collateral input box. If there's a number in both of these, it's going to say, this button down here is going to say remove collateral and repay. And if I delete the number here, that button is actually just going to say repay. So I would recommend you repay before you try to withdraw your collateral, because withdrawing your collateral is going to lower your liquidation price, or it's actually going to raise your liquidation price, and so you could get liquidated. So I would recommend repaying first and then withdrawing, because gas is cheap. It's not a big deal. You could just, it's just two transactions instead of one. So and it's just a little safer this way. So you click repay, and it's going to pop up MetaMask. You're going to confirm it, and after it's confirmed, you're going to see that your amount of MIM that you've borrowed is going to reduce by however much MIM you just repaid. In my case, I'm attempting to repay the entire loan. So if I refresh the page, I should see that the amount of MIM that I need to repay has been reduced. So let's just wait for it to load here. Okay, cool. So now instead of saying 0.2, it says 0.002. So it's just kind of just a little bit of dust left over. And now I can remove my collateral. So if I want to come, I can click repay again. And now let's say I want to remove my max collateral. So I just click remove collateral and repay, and then confirm. And that's going to remove my wrapped memo that I deposited into Abracadabra as collateral. So we'll refresh the page once again, and I should see this collateral value reduce by however much I just took out. Let's wait for the transaction. Sometimes it doesn't work right away because sometimes it requires you to approve the transaction. So maybe I just try it one more time and see if it goes through the second time. Oh, nope, it was just a little delayed. So, yep, you can see right here, I no longer have as much collateral deposited. It's just kind of some dust, and a lot of times you'll be left over with just a tiny bit of money just because the numbers don't round out perfectly, but that's totally fine with me. So I have this tiny amount of collateral left, and now I have my, as we can see in my assets, I have my wrapped memo back, and I no longer have very much MIM at all. I used most of it to repay my loan. So hopefully that was beneficial, and you learned how to repay your loans on Abracadabra, and you learned, when you need to repay them, or if you even have to repay them at all. Just keep in mind, really important, I would recommend repaying your loan. So putting a number up in here and keeping this input box as 0. So I would recommend repaying some MIM before removing collateral, just to be safe, and make sure this button just says repay. Go ahead and repay, and then do a second transaction where your number up here is 0 and your number down here is however much you want to withdraw. And in this case, the button will say something like repay and remove collateral. So those are just some safety tips just to make sure you're not getting liquidated. If you accidentally withdraw too much collateral, you could get liquidated. So I would recommend doing it in 2 separate transactions. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. And please like the video, it helps out a lot, and subscribe to keep up to date with future videos. Thanks a lot for watching.